Now coming to the sixth stanza of this poem, church going, it reads, bold, uninformed, knowing the ghostly silt dispersed, yet tending to this cross of ground through suburb scrub, because it held unsplit so long and equally. What since is found only in separation, marriage and birth and death and thoughts of these? Now who would this be, this person like him? He's a person who is bored of things, who knows a lot of things about it. He knows that this building is worth nothing. There is ghostly silt dispersed inside there. But still he enters into this building with a lot of indifference, with a lot of, carelessness. He may be the last one to enter into this. And he takes pains to come to the suburbs. Suburbs means outside the city. This church could be outside the city, so he'll take all the pains to reach this place, but he will be completely indifferent in his visit to this place. He would be bored of all the activities, so there would be nothing for him to do, so he'll just visit the church, which otherwise is, just heard, who otherwise would visit only at the times of marriages or death or some ceremony or things like these. And then he says, for whom was built this special shell? Another question he asks. There may come a time when people will ask, for what was this built? Why did people build this grand, humongous building for? With such great architecture, what was the fun of this? And he says, for though I have no idea what this accoutred, frosty barn is worth, again, this is the most famous line of this poem. I have got no idea what this accoutred, frosty barn. Accoutred means impressive, and frosty means, stuffy atmosphere. He says that what is this barn? Barn is reference to, a container, a huge container in which, crops, etc. are kept. So he is comparing the church with that barn, but he calls it very impressive and, having a great atmosphere around it. He says, I don't know what this is meant for or what this is worth, why people visit it, how should I explain it, for what was it built? I have no idea. It pleases me to stand in silence here. Despite all these things, I feel some sort of happiness by standing silent here outside the church, or, visiting this church. Now, this is a strange, again, a careless attitude for that matter. He stands there in silence, but this silence is not because of reverence. This is just, being silent. Because he has got absolutely no idea about this church. He doesn't know worth of it. He doesn't know purpose of it. He doesn't know why it was built. That was the sixth stanza or fifth stanza of this particular poem. Coming to the last stanza of this poem, it reads, a serious house on serious earth it is. What? This church is a serious house on serious earth. Now, this stanza will be slightly serious, and it begins with the use of serious twice. This church is a serious house, and earth is a serious place to be in. Earth is not funny, earth is tragic. This life is full of tragedy, and this church is also very serious. Place on a serious earth, in whose blent air all our compulsions meet. This is a place where all our compulsions meet. All our troubles, problems, are those things that are forced upon us. They meet as if here, through superstitions, through myths. This is a serious place. And those compulsions are recognized and robbed as destinies. And all those things were thrust upon us. And then if we say that we just don't want this, they say this is destined for you. You cannot help it. God has decided this for you. It says that this is the place what it is meant for. To thrust our compulsions upon us by calling them as destined. And then he says, and that much never can be obsolete, since someone will forever be surprising a hunger in himself to be more serious. And here he realizes that this aspect of life, the compulsions, the coincidences of life are such that this church will perhaps never run out of time, because there is always going to be the compulsions, the hopelessness in human life, and there is always going to be some person who is serious enough to tell us that your compulsions meet and end here in this church, and he may come here back time and again. So there is less chance that these churches would run out of use. And gravitating with it to this ground, gravitate, coming back time and again to the church, some serious man which he once heard was proper to grow wise in, because he has heard once that it is wiser to be a part of the church, or to come inside the church, or to learn things from within the church. That was a wise thing. And since he's a serious kind of a man who takes things seriously, and he'll keep coming to the church, so there is less chance that church will be out of use, if only that so many dead lie around. The only other case is that all the people die. That would be a time perhaps when churches will run out of use, when there are many people dead who lie around, because dead cannot come to church. Otherwise, so long as human beings live, they have got their compulsions, they have got this element of destiny associated with their life, and that is in return associated to church. Church is a serious place. On serious earth is a serious place. So there are human beings which will end to be serious in their reactions or in their actions. So those serious men will keep gravitating, will keep coming to the church time and again, unless this world ends. That was the poem Church Going. It was very long time, and I have also run out of energy. So I won't be dealing with any more stuff about this poem. This poem was about church going. It was ironical in nature. Philip Larkin tells us few things about church. First, he just tells about his visit to a church and his activities in the church. And then he says that why did I visit this church? Was this church visiting for? And then he ponders over a question that what shall we make these churches when they go out of use? And then he gives few options. We'll keep cathedrals on show, we'll keep the parchment, the plate, the pikes in locked cases, and then the rest would be rent free to sheep and rain. And then he says these churches would be used by some dubious woman, by some suspect woman. Fine. But then he says that is the case when people are superstitious. But if belief dies, there is high chance that disbelief also dies. When disbelief also dies, what shall we make of these buildings? And then he says that who would be the last one who would visit this church? And he gives 4 options. 1, there would be a traveler. 2, there would be an antique bibber, one who loves to visit antique places. 3, there must be some Christmas addict who visits, or there would be someone like himself who is bored of all other activities and finally decides to visit a church with all indifferences. And then finally he concludes this poem. He also asks another question, that what was the use of or function or the purpose of these buildings. And he says there will come a time when this shape will become less recognizable. People will not recognize this as church, and they will also forget the purpose of this building. But he says that this is a serious earth, church is a serious place, humans are serious creations. So as this seriousness is all around, so there is less chance that churches will run out of use till the humanity is extinct. That is all we have at the World of Literature today. I hope that this lecture was helpful for you and you were able to understand the poem Church Going. You can visit Urakedmi, browse through Urakedmi, and I'll assure you that you will find a lot of interesting stuff about English literature. You can also join Urakedmi to get more out of Urakedmi, wherein we provide lectures on demand, we provide lectures in Urdu, we provide text of our lectures, but that is only for members. If you join Urakedmi, you will get all those facilities with you. And also don't forget to watch video on the recommended books to study Philip Larkin. The link to that video would be given at the top of this video. As it pops up, you can click on the link and watch out the books that we refer to as we prepare lectures at your academy, because we love to read books in an age where people usually do not read books. So you can refer to that video, which will give you insight into some important reference books regarding Philip Larkin. And if you are a research scholar or a student, those books will surely help you. Thank you for watching, and keep watching Your Academy. Don't forget to share, like, comment and subscribe Your Academy.